Hello everyone. Um, Glad that you're all here to join us. I hope you enjoy our new fancy animated intro with the music. Um, yeah, and today um, I have SM Rob, I have SM Dad, also sometimes known as SM Dad or SM Rob Senior, and I have BerryBandit today to ask us the lovely questions submitted by the community and voted on by the KF Wiki team. So, without further ado, I suppose I will hand us over to the BerryBandit.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
Of course.
So, how is everyone doing today?
Doing pretty good. Let's see. I was working on some of the arenas this morning and fixing some bugs there, and that went pretty well.
Yeah, the last time I got in and saw the Ruins arena, and I believe that's the only arena that they've seen so far.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Saw a little peek of it.
yeah,
Just a little peek.
but it's looking really good, and I think on the progress board, sorry, it just moved to done. So
Yep. We
Yeah.
just finished that one up.
I broke a glass of spaghetti jar and got glass in my foot, so that's what I've been doing today.
Ooh, that does not sound fun at all.
you
So, first question, Dad. What
Okay,
was
what's a borker? That's my first question, Barry. I don't understand.
are
You
you
don't
asking the
understand
questions?
Yeah.
Oh,
Curveball.
I don't understand
Surprise!
this borker thing. You're being interviewed, Barry, not me.
Oh, okay.
The
You'll
Barry Show.
switcheroo.
Switcheroo here. I guess borking is just borking.
Well, yeah, we're not allowed
There
to
you
say
go.
that. It's like PG-13. That's... All right,
There is
maybe you should.
there is a legal definition,
Me-
but I don't think that's what the whole Bork squad thing was.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you should ask the questions.
So the first question I got to ask you, Dad, what was your first reaction when your sons first talked to you about Kindred?
Well, that was a long time ago. At least seems like a long time ago. And at the time, it was really just a project for Andrew and Robbie to learn how to live together and not kill each other, because they were in the same area, right? And I think maybe to Andrew to learn a little bit about whatever it is that Robbie does with computers. And they were going to try and have a go at that. And then the idea was, well, so it's not so boring, and we just do all these lines of type to learn how to do lines of type and code and crap. They're like, well, let's make a little video game to go along with it. And I don't remember honestly which one told me about it first, but I was like, oh, well, that's a good idea. That way, it's not as boring, and maybe Andrew will learn how to do this, and everybody will make a little game, and won't that be fun? And then Robbie had already made one game that I'm probably not supposed to talk about.
We've talked.
They've heard
about
about it a little
times.
bit.
Yeah.
No, please fill in the gap. I think everybody would like to know.
Well, it's a little game called Rain Runner, and he would send me his latest version about every week, and I would get to play it, and it was actually a fun little game. And we would it will tell you your high score. And so we would all play, like me and Andrew and Robbie, and we took it to my wife's sister, my aunt's house, and they've got two little kids, and we handed it to one of them, who's like at the time was like, I don't know, 9 or 10, something like that. And this kid started playing it, and he like quadrupled our best score.
He did.
So
Yeah.
We had leaderboards built into it too, so you could like see where everybody was.
Yeah.
So after that, everybody kind of lost interest in Rain Runner.
Yeah.
We were kind of done.
So the question is, will it ever get finished?
I'd like to finish it. Last I remember, it was pretty close to done.
Yeah.
At least like functionally. I had all the features into it, and I think the vast majority of the art was like finalized.
I think the main character was still a placeholder, and the music was a placeholder. But other than that,
yeah, but like all the functionality was in.
Could it be maybe a mini game in Kindred?
It's always possible. It's always possible.
Replace the main character with a pixelized canine. Yeah,
I can see it.
Oh, I'm talking about like an arcade machine in the game. And so.
Yeah, maybe.
That and what was the other game? It wasn't Kindred Fates. It was one you put out that was a funny Kindred Fates.
Oh, Kindred Fates
for Nintendo Switch, I think.
Yeah.
I think that took me all of half an hour.
I'm still trying to find that system for sale on eBay.
I keep looking. I'm sure it's there.
Yeah. But I remember talking with Robbie 2 or 3 times a week on my way to work. I would call him and talking to him about the game and about his job. And at the time, he was making pretty decent money, working a normal computer guy job. And he'd talk more and more about this game and, Kindred Fates, and he would send me pictures of artwork, and I was like, oh, well, that's really cool. That's a great little hobby you got. I used to play drums in a band, and, it paid for itself because I got to play out, and, maybe you can make a little bit of money off yours, and, I never thought that much about it, really. And then he started talking more about the game than, his job, and he's like, yeah, I don't know about this job. Maybe I'll just, concentrate all my efforts and time and money on this game. And I soon found out that he was, eating a little bit of rice a day. It was like the show Survivor at his house.
Yeah.
He's eating like, well, I've got 4 pieces of rice left for this week, so. And then
I can ration it out.
Right. And it, for a parent, that's pretty stinking scary. I got my kid up there. I want everything to go well for him, and it was scary for me. And then he's like, well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I'm all in with this game, and to finish it and get this trailer out, Dad, I'm going to have to go ahead and quit my job. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go talk to your mom. You're in trouble. So, and I talked to my wife. I'm like, you know what your son's doing? And she's like, I'll talk to him. I'm like, yes, please do. So she talks to him, and she comes back, and she goes, well, I told him, right now he doesn't have any responsibilities, and if he's going to take a big risk, now's the time to do it. And I'm like, all right, I get it. You win. I'm out.
I mean, Mom does know best most of the
time. Oh, you have no idea.
Well, see, it worked out anyway, because in the end, I actually didn't quit that job. I just got fired.
Yeah, and you got fired for like a really dumb reason, too.
Well, either way.
Probably because you were sleeping all the time because you were working at home.
Pretty much.
I mean,
I definitely
did good work.
There was definitely. I felt like I did a good job there, and I did genuinely like give that job my all.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wasn't working full time there, and I was devoting every hour that I had outside of it to building the game. So it was taking a lot of my energy was going towards the game outside of it, and I kind of ended up picking the game over that other job.
Yeah,
which worked out.
Yeah, it worked out very well. Would you say that your little hobby is paid for itself?
So far.
So far, so good.
So gym leader Ed was saying, you sure you didn't get fired for being too sexy?
Oh, man. I should have asked. I bet that's what it was.
I'm sure that would have made this whole situation so much better.
They were like, man, we really need you to go on full time. We need you to be here more. But it was really the clothes.
Yeah.
So, Dad,
what?
How are you feeling about the project now?
That's a pain in the butt.
What do you mean a pain in the butt?
Well, I went from working 4 days a week to 7 days a week and like 13 hours a day.
But you get to see your kids every day.
Well, yeah, I get to talk to them. But you're right. I do get to see my kids because my kids are kind of the kinfolk now. I guess they're like my little grandbabies. I have pictures of them around my office, and come to looking around here, I don't think I have any pictures of Robbie and Andrew. Just the kinfolk. So
What?
That's what matters.
True.
No,
So
that is
what
true.
pictures do you have? What pictures of the kinfolks do you have in your space right now?
right now, let's see. I have Kadoki, and I have that dog-looking thing with the fire emblem. I have a couple pictures that were custom made, or no, one picture that was custom made of Robbie and with all the little kinfolk around him. And I have a framed picture of the artwork that went along with the trailer. And then out in the hallway, I have a bunch more kinfolk on some bookshelves out there. And actually, we did all that for when the Kickstarter was ending, like a week before. I was excited. It's like, well, this has been a success, and I don't have to come up with $50,000 or whatever it is to front this game.
Yeah.
And so that was a big relief off my back. And also, at the same time, we were in the middle of buying a house. And for those of you that have bought a house, it can turn into a real pain in the butt, and which it did. So the last 2 weeks of the Kickstarter, I was more into making sure we got to buy this house and figuring all the stuff out to move and blah, blah, blah. So and I think we actually moved the day the Kickstarter ended. And I didn't actually realize it at the time. And it's one of the things that really sucks that I didn't get to be there with Robbie and everybody, watching the numbers go up. I had no idea what it had done.
Yeah.
And I think it was Andrew told me because he was in the move with us, and he's like, yeah, the Kickstarter is over. It's like almost like $700,000 or something. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How is this even possible?
Yeah.
So yeah, it completely blew me away. And it's fun being at home and being able to spend time with my two sons on a project like this. It's really a good time.
Yeah.
I can imagine how stressful it is buying and selling a house, because I've done it twice, and I can't imagine what you've had to go through.
I kid you not, it was either a week or 2 weeks before we were to close. They came back and said, okay, we need an additional $10,000. It's like,
that sounds about right.
Really?
Like my last place that I ended up buying, it literally, I had to pay someone's credit card. I had to buy the seller's credit card off.
What?
Because they went to
Insane.
Kohl's and spent $300.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Obviously, I put it in the contract that they would pay me back, but it was just like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Right.
Dumbest
Right.
thing.
And it might be the only thing that's worse than buying a house is trying to sell a house. So I've done that too. Anyway, this has nothing to do with Kindred Face.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Let's get back on track here. So during the time of QA testing, what is the funniest and weirdest behavior from a bug that you've seen so far?
Huh. So there's a ability called fire spin, and I think that's something that everybody kind of knows about.
Kinda. They got to.
Say again, Rob?
Yep, sorry about that. I just pulled my mic out. They got to see kind of a prototype version of that ability in the Kickstarter trailer.
Okay,
But,
so
yeah.
it's fire spin, and it makes a little spinny thing of fire around you, as you would think it would. And I was playing with one of the characters, which I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about or not. And so I'm performing this fire spin maneuver, and we have a kind of a sandbox area. It's kind of just a test area. And it's got like stairs and like just blocks, obstacles on it. And so I like jump off this block and I hit fire spin, and fire spin sticks in the object. Like it's stuck in the object halfway down, just like spinning. But I'm like, well, that's not cool. And so I write a bug report about it, and I'm like, no, it's more supposed to be, with the character, it's kind of supposed to, follow the character. It shouldn't actually get stuck in the middle of a block or a boulder or something. And so I send that off, and they're like, okay, we fixed it, and they send it back to me, and I test it again. And so this time I just jump off the top of this block, right? And the fire spin stays at the character's waist. And now this character is like running, and the fire spin is stuck on his waist. And it looks like some kind of ballerina tutu that's on fire that this guy's wearing. And I thought, well, that's not right? That's not going to happen. So I make a joke, and I send it to Robbie. I'm like, well, I guess I got what I asked for. And he's like, well, no, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, what? But that was just that the visual effects that I was seeing was just kind of placeholder visual effects. And of course, they didn't look exactly right. But at the time, it looked like a flaming tutu.
Yeah.
And then there's all kinds of other cool stuff too. I mean, there's a beam attack that just...
Oh my gosh.
You never know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fantastic and it works exactly like you want it to, and it shoots out in front of you, and sometimes it decides to shoot out from back behind you, so it looks like you just shot yourself in the back.
Yeah.
Sometimes
like a right angle.
Yeah, you can shoot it right and it goes left.
Yeah, those times where we like hug against like a wall in the ruins. We shoot it into the wall just to see what'll happen, and it would like it would ricochet off and like go into space.
Me and Andrew's doubting each other. It's like, okay, I'm going to shoot it at that brick right there. I'm like, no, you're not. You're shooting it all the way over there. And he's like, no, really, I'm shooting it right at this brick. Sometimes they get stuck, and it turns into like this big long beam. And then you can manipulate it because it's stuck in the air, and you can like kind of twist it and tie it up.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I got that one. I actually got that one on video a little bit.
Oh, nice.
I made a disco.
Disco.
I did.
Oh.
There's a reticle that the attack will be launched on the ground, and so
I remember this.
There's a blue reticle on the ground, right? And you're like, oh, okay, when I hit fire, that's where it's going to hit at. And if you don't hit fire and instead you change to a different ability or a different attack, that blue reticle stays there on the ground.
No,
at
it was...
At least it did, yeah.
It was,
it did. It doesn't anymore.
It was if you swap kinfolk, I think.
Yeah.
No, you could just... It kinfolk or whatever. But anyway, you could get it to stay there on the ground. And it was a pretty blue color, right? So
very
then,
bright.
Right.
Very
so
neon.
I duplicated that about, 500 times. So there's these blue lights all over the ground. It looked all pretty like a disco. And I got some audio of the Bee Gees Staying Alive and made a nice little video clip of him walking through the disco. That was one of my favorite ones too.
I'll have to post that to the second channel if Rob approves once this is done.
Jeanette's saying that sounds like a feature.
Yeah.
Let's see. So what are you testing the most in the games as a QA tester in terms of game mechanics? It doesn't have to be game mechanics. It can be other things such as bugs or game design stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything. If I can test it as a player, I'm testing it. And I'm looking for everything up to, can I get a match on the servers, or can I get put with another person? All the way down to, hey Robbie, the lighting in this particular map's not quite right because when I walk through this area with this character, he gets shadows on his back. But when I walk through with this character, he gets nothing. There's no shadows. He's just walking like normal. So, and anything in between. I mean, abilities, matchmaking, playability, fun. I mean, because at the end of the day, I've always told both of my kids that when you sit down and play a video game, when you're done, it needs to have made you feel good. You need to be happy. You need to be like, you know what? I just played that and I want to play it again. A lot of times video games, you get done, you're like, gosh, damn, play this damn thing again. It's just horrible. Which is like me with Apex. I play Apex Legends all the time, and I get so frustrated. I want to break the TV. I don't want this game to be like that. I want it to be a good experience. So when you sit down, for the most part, you have a smile on your face, and if you don't, because things happen and little kinfolk apparently can die, it's still a good experience when you walk away from it.
My goal is to make a game as good as I consider as good as like Smash Ultimate. Something so good that
that's a horrible game, Robbie.
I was about to say, nobody ever gets frustrated from Super Smash Bros.
Hear me out. It's so good that the object of the game isn't really to win. It's really just to make the other person feel bad about themselves personally.
Oh.
My kid still wants a rematch.
That's a joke. I swear that's a joke.
What is wrong? You know what? I think I know what's wrong with you. I was looking through this Discord thing you have. You got some weird people on there, Robbie. You got one guy who thinks is Satan or something, and I think he's getting...
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Satan's actually pretty great.
I think he's demented your brain.
Satan and I are cool.
Just a couple weeks ago, you were lying your butt off.
Yeah.
You're playing that game. I was watching you. You're like lying to everybody, saying, "Oh, it wasn't me that killed you."
You calling me a fake? You calling me an imposter? Some kind of imposter?
That's Satan right there, Robbie.
I was on a spaceship, and it was great.
Yeah, I know. We played that game last time you came down. Remember that?
I do. It was awesome.
The game was called Dad Dies First.
Yeah, this was Among Us.
Yeah, that was great.
A question from chat specifically for SM Dad: is Rob and Andrew behaving?
Never.
Yeah, that's
never. I mean, so I remember back a long time ago, to tell you an old story. Robbie's a few years older than Andrew, and Andrew has always looked up to his older brother for the most part. And we had Robbie in karate. And so Robbie's doing the karate thing and having a good time. And he comes home one time and we all sit down and eat dinner together. And Robbie's telling everybody about pressure points. Apparently there's places on everybody's body that if you apply the right amount of pressure, they'll just explode into blood and guts. I don't know, but Andrew was very impressed with.
That's what they taught us anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and you were teaching Andrew all about it, and his eyes were, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and he thought you were pretty cool to begin with, but after you told him you knew how to make people explode, my gosh.
This is a traumatized reenactment of real life events.
That sounds pretty factual here.
Yeah.
So we get done with dinner, and they go upstairs to play, and me and the wife's downstairs, and we hear, "Stop it! You're touching me in my pressure point! You're gonna kill me!" And for like the next month, that's all we heard was pressure point. Robbie touched me in my pressure point. So they've always been like together and normal brothers. It's like they get along really, really well, and they really know how to push each other's buttons at the same time.
Well, I think he knows how to press my pressure points. I think that was the issue.
Pressure point, yeah. Push the pressure point.
Definitely know how to press a pressure point.
Yeah.
Where is that pressure point?
Oh, it's right here on the back of the neck. Here, watch. Let me do it to Andrew real quick. Yeah!
Is there any other embarrassing stories for Andrew and Rob, Dad?
You know, I've got a lot of them for Robbie. I think Andrew.
This is what you guys wanted, right? This was
This
the
is-
whole
this
point.
This
of
is
this?
why you
Yes.
requested specifically.
This is why the
SM
community
Dad,
voted
yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
I think Andrew. I think Andrew kind of learned from his older brother what not to do. Maybe it's like, oh look, there's Robbie doing that thing, and I don't want to do that. It's like Robbie would do stuff like when we go out to dinner, and he would like set him down because he's like 2, and you'd set him down.
He had a full beard when he was 2, by the way.
And and you get done, and you pick him up out of the chair or whatever, and you set him down, and you go to get up yourself, and as soon as you get up, he's gone. He's like a little ninja. He's like a little bit of smoke, poof, and he's gone. And it's like, where the hell did he go? I just set him here. All I did is stand up, and he's gone. And you're freaking out. And this is a true story. And me and the wife are looking around. I think it was maybe a Red Lobster we were at, and we can't find him. And we're like, what has happened to our little kid? And here comes the chef from the kitchen carrying him out because he had took off and he'd run into the kitchen and was out back there, asking the chef about
Pretzel dip and
birds with 4 wings or something.
Yeah, what's your favorite pretzel dip?
Right. Andrew, you could set him down and you'd be like, all right, you need to stay there. And he'd be like, oh, okay. And we're like, no, really, you need to stay there. And he's like, okay, what else am I going to do? Run off, So that was kind of the difference between those two. And we used to play a lot of video games when they were younger together. We still do some, actually. We play Kindred Fates.
play that a lot now.
Yeah, that's...
We play that a lot. There was a racing game that me and Robbie used to play. It was like on Nintendo 64 or something. Remember that racing
Diddy
game?
Kong Racing?
Yeah, Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah.
I remember Diddy Kong Racing.
He doesn't really have that good a memory about it, I don't think, because...
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah,
Tell
tell him, how do you like Diddy Kong Racing, Robbie?
Diddy Kong Racing's great, just not when I play with him. I bet I could beat him now.
Oh, shut up. No, you can.
I was like 3. Oh, now we gotta go.
Oh,
Now we gotta play Diddy Kong Racing.
Crank says they were re-released on the 3DS.
They did not.
Yes, I did.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Dude, if it comes out on Switch, I'm getting that.
So we play this
Like on the
Kong
Virtual
Racing,
Console?
and Robbie had a kind of a hard time beating his old man because his old man is fairly mean and competitive. at
I
the
was
same
like
time.
3 years old.
So
Get
so
good,
then-
scrub.
So then I go out and I find this game, and it looks kind of like something I can slip by my wife, and it's called Jet Force Gemini. And I noticed on the back of the cartridge, you could play like 1v1, right? And it was like, I don't know if it was a first person
It
shooter.
was a
but
third-person shooter.
Yeah, it was like a third person shooter. And I ran home, and I sneak it in. I'm like, Robbie, come here, check this out. Don't show your mom or she'll kill us both. And so we slip it in. I'm like, check this out. We can battle each other, and we're having a good old time, right? So we played that thing and played that thing. We had such a good time. And finally, Robbie was able to beat me, and he was pretty proud of it. And it just so happened that the first time he beat me, his mom busted us playing. And she's like, what are you doing? And Robbie's all excited. He's like, look, Mom, I finally killed Dad. Look. And I'm laying there on the floor dead. And he's shooting me like with this gun. And every time he shoots me, the little body goes, And Jennifer's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? You can't do that. This is horrible. Where did you guys get this game? So
That almost sounds like one of my childhood memories of Mortal Kombat and the Blood Code. My uncle told me. So every time my mom would come in the room, I would disable it.
right.
Oh boy.
Robbie was so happy he'd finally killed his father.
Did he just do it once, or is it consistent now?
Oh, I don't know. It's been forever. I doubt it.
I can't. I'm having a really hard time beating him playing Kindred Fates. My only chance is if I use Kabroki, then I might have a. Oh, I'm probably not supposed to say Kabroki's in there. Anyway,
Everybody knows about Kabroki.
Everybody knows about Converging.
To say, what size is he? Is he 2 inches tall?
Maybe.
He's still smaller than he should be, I think, right?
He's a lot easier to hit now.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can win with Kabroki anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys neutered him.
Still.
We just slowed him down a little bit.
Yeah, still might have to lower his health a little bit more, but yeah.
He's not Green Sonic anymore.
Yeah, he was absolutely Green Sonic.
Yeah.
So I know Gil would want me to ask you this question, Dad. I've heard between the branches that you are a master of the grill. What is the one barbecue recipe that you would consider your masterpiece? Could you share some secrets about the recipe with us?
I'll let Robbie and Andrew answer this. What are you, Andrew? You go first. What's your favorite thing that I make?
I don't know. You've made so many things, over the years that are all like really really good.
Robbie, how about you?
I would say the armadillo eggs probably is the current favorite.
Those are pretty high up there.
Yeah.
It's like it is really difficult because there's like so many different things that you've made, and they're all crazy good. Which I feel like we have a hard time convincing people of. Like, we're like, oh yeah, our dad's like a really good cook, and they're like, oh yeah, whatever, everybody's dad's a really good cook. It's like, no, you gotta try this actually.
Yeah.
This is like kind of next level stuff. This is really really good barbecue. Like I remember when he started getting really into it, being like consistently like more and more impressed with like how it was improving.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first thing I made?
Oh yeah, I was about to say something about that. The first thing you ever made on the grill was like these burgers that you just absolutely dumped salt into, and it was like, man, my dad is such a horrible cook.
It's true.
This is gonna
That's very
suck.
true.
Yeah, but it's like at the point now where like I don't know, like I've been to a lot of nice restaurants and ordered a lot of really good food, really good cuts of meat, good barbecue, but and it's not like I grew up with this food either. He started getting good at barbecue when I was in like high school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
he was probably a senior.
It's not like
Junior or
it's
senior.
a nostalgia thing either. Like I just had a couple years, like, and then like I would come to visit later, and his barbecue was like better and better each time. My favorite thing that I've had has got to go to the Christmas steaks that he made one year. Those were insane. No other cut
yeah.
of steak I've ever had has like come anywhere close to how good those steaks were.
The beef tips?
Is that what they were?
I think so.
Yeah, those were insane. Then there's the armadillo eggs, which he makes like a lot more, like commonly.
What are those?
Yeah, tell him what those are.
So, I guess the first thing I did when I started cooking barbecue is I did a little research because there's a lot of people out there that know a lot more than I do. And one of my favorite places to go is called AmazingRibs.com. And this guy is just, he's a good barbecue guy, but he backs everything he does up with facts. And he does a lot of research. He has all these people working for him that they try, like your wood chips. Some people soak their wood chips. Some people don't. And some people will say, well, it's smokier or this or that. If you do, if you don't, blah, blah, blah. So he does them both. And he's like, okay, the same cut of meat. This one's this way, this one's that way. Which one's better? And so he really puts a lot of science and a lot of work into what he does. AmazingRibs.com. There's my big spiel about where you should go. But armadillo eggs is you take like a box of cream cheese, and you'd get your favorite barbecue or whatever it is, and just mix them in there until it turns a little bit brown or whatever. You don't have to overdo it. You want about 6 jalapenos.
Ooh.
And you take those jalapenos and you cut them in half, cut the stems off of them, cut them in half. And a lot of times the jalapenos are a little too hot for some people.
These things are like Russian roulette.
Oh, they
Right?
absolutely are.
Right. You never know if
But
it's
it's
going to be
worth
hot
it.
or not.
Yeah.
Take the veins and the seeds out of them, of course. And if they're a little too hot for you, blanch them for just a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. That takes a lot of the heat out of them. But like Robbie said, half the fun is, are you going to get one that's too hot?
Yeah.
So anyway, you take that cream cheese I was talking about. You put it in the jalapenos. You put the jalapenos back together. So now you have a hollowed out jalapeno full of cream cheese with some barbecue rub in it. Then you get, I use sweet Italian sausage. And with 6 jalapenos, it'll take about 2 pounds of sweet Italian sausage. And you flatten that Italian sausage out about as flat as you can get it. And then you wrap the jalapeno in it. So now you've got a jalapeno wrapped in sweet sausage. You want to make sure you get it wrapped really good, because if not, when the cream cheese inside the jalapeno gets too hot, it'll just seep out. But if you wrap it pretty good, you'll be all right. Then you take a piece or two of bacon and you wrap the sausage with bacon. You set that on the grill, cook it at about 250 degrees or 225, and then it's pretty much done when you can see a little bit of cream cheese kind of start to pop out, because some of it will run out a little bit, but you'll keep most of it in there. And then the very last little bit of it is you take a little bit of barbecue sauce and kind of coat the little thing about the last, 3 to 5 minutes that it's on the grill. And they are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very, very good. But again, absolutely a gamble if they have no heat or if they will make you suffer in the corner for about a half an hour.
Yeah.
I guess they would be lightweights for me. I guess I'm the crazy guy that puts scorpion sauce on everything.
And
Yeah.
Right, and you can control how hot they are too, because you can, whatever you want to mix in with that cream cheese, feel free to.
I guess that's an embarrassing story about me that you could tell, Dad.
What's that?
With the hot sauce you got that one time.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell it? That's pretty good.
I'm not gonna tell it. This is you're
No,
the one
no,
telling
tell.
stories.
Tell the story, man.
Man, okay.
You put it out there.
All
Yep.
right. Yeah, I really did walk myself into this, didn't I? Okay. So
This is a great story, though.
I can't believe neither of us thought about this. There was a time when I was in middle school where Dad bought this hot sauce for some reason, like an insane person. That was like over 6 million Scoville units. It was hot enough to actually make you suffer.
Dog,
Yeah.
the Mad Dog 357.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that stuff.
Yeah, so it was insane. Like, the kind where if you dip a toothpick in it, and put that in your mouth, you're still going to, like, absolutely start crying. And, it was fun. I think you said you would take it into work and, like, ask people if they wanted to try it and tell them, like, it's, like, really hot. But, you worked with enough, like, people who were full of themselves to be like, oh, I'm sure it's not that hot. And then, of course, hilarity ensues. There was someone in my middle school that thought that it was fun to take food from me.
Like
at
every day,
lunch.
right?
Yeah, it got to the point where it was like every day, yeah. And I saw my dear old dad having a lot of fun with his coworkers, and I was like, huh.
Role models.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if this guy is so insistent on taking this food from me.
What was he taking? Was it like chicken nuggets?
Yeah, I think it was like chicken nuggets or like chicken strips or something.
That's just cold, man.
Yeah, he took my nuggies. He took my tendies.
That's the heart of a school lunch.
Yeah,
That's the best part.
the only good part of a school lunch.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, let me just take a small little sample of this sauce, into school, and I'll put a little bit on my tray, and I'll, make sure to dip all of my precious nuggies in this hot sauce. Of course, I'm not going to eat any of them. And, lo and behold, Lay Bully walks by and grabs the tendies and stuffs them in his mouth. I think it was just like one. And he, I didn't hear from him again. At least for that day. And he, from what I was told, because I think the next day I got called into the principal's office and questioned, but it came down to the fact of like it wasn't my fault that I put it on my food and he took it from me.
Yeah.
But they were like, don't you dare bring anything from food ever, or bring any food from home ever again. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. But from what I heard around the grapevine and from that principal was that I think he went temporarily blind for a little bit and had to be taken to the hospital after throwing up for like an hour.
So the moral of the story: don't steal people's food.
Yeah, don't
They
steal
might
my
like their
nuggies.
food really spicy.
Yeah.
You might regret it then.
Yeah.
My first time experiencing it, I was with a buddy at work, and I work with a bunch of let's say macho men, more mechanics, and we think we can pretty much do anything at any time, and nothing scares us for the most part. But there was a small group of mechanics around this toolbox, and there's like, they got a package of crackers, and then they got this bottle of hot sauce. And me and my buddies walking up there, and they're like, "Hey, you want to try some hot sauce?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." And my buddy's like, "Well, yeah, how hot could it be?" And so they cover the top of the cracker with this stuff and give it to him. And he eats it, and he's like being all cool and stuff. And he walks away. He goes, "Rob, that's the worst I've ever had in my life." I said, "Let me tell you something, Brian." I said, "If you ever see a bunch of mechanics standing around on a toolbox with a bottle of hot sauce, don't ever take any of it." Ever.
Yeah, if they're all laughing while they offer you some hot sauce, I mean...
Right.
Yeah.
And the guy that I later become friends with, he became my supervisor. He said that he was part of this drag racing club, and at this certain track, they all got together and drag raced all the time. And at the end of the year, they would have this big party, like kind of the end of the season thing. And everybody bringing food and stuff. Well, he took a bottle of the hot sauce in, and he just left it like at the end of the buffet line, like it was just regular stuff. And they would watch as people would get their food and shake some of their food and then try and eat it and just like totally freak out. And somebody finally took it and literally just threw it out in the parking lot because they were so mad about it.
Wow.
I think Evan got into it, didn't he, Robbie?
Yeah, I think he like opened up the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dude, don't mess with that. That's really, really hot. And he's like, it's fine. And he goes to like, he's like unscrewing it and he goes to smell it. And I'm like, you better wash your hands now, man. Cause like you don't want to mess with that. It's kind of more like a chemical weapon than a topping.
This is true.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, that smells pretty hot." And he puts it back, and I'm like, "Well, I told you should wash your hands." And like he just kept talking to me about whatever, and then eventually he like rubbed his eye, and it's like, "I told you, I told you." I'm not even the one who brought up the hot sauce. He was like, "Oh, what's this?" And
Yeah, ooh, this looks fun. Yeah.
Andrew and I had a similar experience actually with some peppers, but maybe that's a story for another time.
Probably a story for another time. But
yeah,
just to describe the experience of that hot sauce, it's like a very, very liquidy sauce, and it will coat your entire mouth. And there's no washing it out with anything. It just has to burn itself out. Like it will coat every surface of your mouth and throat. And just cause you the most intense pain. It's really, really bad.
This sounds like a challenge now.
The
No,
stuff
oh my
I
gosh.
had-
What is the
Have you been
moral of this?
listening?
Yeah, what is
Have you
the
been
story
listening at all?
we just told you?
you just tune in, Barry.
Yeah.
You
I
will
mean-
hurt yourself.
I get some hot sauce.
We're trying to protect you.
No, it is 6 million Scoville, my guy.
It's
No,
a
it's not.
public service announcement.
Yeah.
It's just not. I think what we had was a 500,000 Scoville. I think is what it was.
It said on the bottle 6 million.
It's not even the worst hot sauce.
Yeah.
Like, there's still plenty of
Yeah,
sauces that are a lot hotter, but
This is just, I guess, commonly available. Probably not that
Yeah, it's-
commonly, but
It's not enjoyable.
no, it's
Yeah.
not at all. Sheila Wallace says, "Is that a challenge, Scar?"
I mean, sure, if you want.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
It's called Mad Dog
Three-
357.
Yeah,
Yeah,
357.
they make different ones. They make different ones, but we
Yeah,
used
I
to.
mean, Jeanette's got a good idea here, an Auburn challenge.
No, don't make this a thing.
Don't make it a thing. It's not fun for anybody.
No.
Well, if you're watching, it might be.
Yeah,
Well,
okay, if
yeah.
you insist on doing it, just... I want to watch, but I will insist on you not doing it.
Yeah, highly recommend. If you're going to try it whatsoever,
I'll
Dip-
live stream it.
dip the very tip, just the very tip of like a toothpick into it, and just try that
Yeah,
and see how you fare.
yeah.
That'll knock you out for about
There is
5 minutes.
Yeah, there's no safe amount.
Yeah. You really can't have a safe amount of the stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, what else we got?
I don't know.
So, continuing with the food questions,
Yeah.
we always got to ask this question: the favorite pretzel dip.
Oh, 357 Mag Dog.
Yeah.
Right. At least a bottle, you know.
Yeah.
So that's not really a fair question. Me and the wife, we'll travel miles for good cheese at pretzel dip. And I guess just to answer the question, which I don't want to just answer the question, what fun is that? Back in 1972, when I was a teenager walking around the malls in Muncie, Indiana, there was a pretzel stand out in the middle of the mall. I believe it was called Hot Sam's. And that's probably the first time I ever had a warm pretzel. And I noticed everybody walking around with them. And I thought, wow, they looked really good.
Did you wear an onion on your belt?
Maybe.
Was it the style at the time?
It might
Wait,
have been.
what?
We're not talking about that. We're talking about pretzels, right?
Who knows what we'll be talking about?
So,
I was trying to divert the question.
yeah. So, anyway, one of the toppings you could get was nacho cheese, which was obviously really, really good. One of the ones that most people walked around and enjoyed was strawberry. And I know it doesn't sound good, but that strawberry dip that they had there was absolutely amazing. I haven't seen a hot salmon forever, so I guess I can't really say hot Sam strawberry dip, but it would be the beer cheese that you get at Tampa Bay Brewing Company, in obviously Tampa. When you order, you get actually 2 super large pretzels and 2 big old things of beer cheese dip, and both of which are very good. A lot of times it seems like the cheese is good or the pretzel's good, and it's hard to get them both right sometimes. But I would say final answer: the beer cheese soup at Tampa Bay Brewing.
There you have it.
They have it, guys. There you go.
Cool.
So we're gonna give Dad a break here and give Robbie and Andrew a chance here. So
Sure.
besides giving answers in the text boxes, like in the Kickstarter trailer, is the player character mostly silent?
For the most part, yeah. Like I would equate it to some other open world games like Skyrim, where you have plenty of opportunities to say things, and answer questions and weigh in on things, give your thoughts on things. But we'll keep the characters like voice out of it. That way it's a little bit easier to kind of make that your character. If they don't have a voice, it's easier to kind of imagine them with your voice. If that makes sense.
Personify.
Yeah.
Crank's asking in the chat. He's ready to be hired for voice acting.
We'll keep you in mind for Kindred Fates 2. That's what we told.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
That's what we told all the voice actors that reached out to us. Voice acting is definitely a cool feature to have, but it comes with a whole slew of new technical and sort of artistic challenges. Like, if I've got voice acting for my characters, then I probably need voice acting for all of my characters. And, are we going to do voice acting for all the dialogue or just some of the dialogue? Is it going to feel jarring if it's only some of the dialogue when they don't talk? And how are we going to sync do the lip sync? And then what about localization?
Yeah,
do we have to hire voice actors? And so kind of turns into this whole the quality of the voice acting. How do we make sure that we get good voice actors? Well, we got to pay good money to get good voice actors. So it kind of turns into this whole thing, and much easier to say, maybe the next one.
Yeah,
we've got enough on our plate for the first game.
Yeah, and the extra cost, of course, of all of that.
That'll be the DLC pack.
Oh my gosh, no.
So with the types being tied to the playstyles, have the design team ever felt that this constraint to create creative freedom in designing kinfolk?
I'm really glad that that people ask this, because the answer to this question has kind of changed a little bit over time. Around the time of the Kickstarter, I think somebody kind of pointed out that this could be something that we run into, and at the time, we kind of felt like it wouldn't limit us. But as we've gotten into it more, I actually do think that that is the case. I do think that with types being tied to play style, at least as in the way that we were thinking about that at that time, I do feel like it was limiting some of our creativity. But since then, we've continued thinking about, okay, how do we want to go about types as a play style? Are there ways that we can do that where it doesn't limit our creativity? And so, like, one of the examples that we started talking about to sort of prove to ourselves that this was something that, even if it wasn't actively limiting the ideas that we could come up with right now, that it could in the future. And if it could in the future, then we wanted to, kind of address that early so that that we didn't run into problems. And that example was like, okay, what if we want to do an Earth type Tyrannosaurus type kinfolk? When you think about a Tyrannosaurus, you think that's like an apex predator. They're super, like, really, really strong and probably, really aggressive and stuff like that. And, probably have, with those massive jaws and big teeth, you'd expect them to deal a ton of damage and all that stuff. There's just kind of an expectation that goes with that design. There's a certain player fantasy that goes with that. But our Earth type playstyle that we've chosen is something that's much more very, very high health and low attack, but your playstyle is kind of walling your opponent out, stalling until you win, and playing very defensively, and to kind of whittle them away over time. But that just doesn't really line up with the design like a or with what people would expect for a T-Rex. And while that isn't to say that we couldn't do a T-Rex or, you know, like something like that in that play style, it's still kind of, it would kind of hurt the design, you know. Like if we went through with something like that, and we had this big, cool looking T-Rex, but you know, for the most part, he was just kind of like defensive, and you know, he didn't really make use of like what would seem like he would have a ton of attack power or something. So the way that we've been thinking about types as a play style more recently is like the attacks that we're creating for these types are being created with that play style specifically in mind. So the Earth type attacks that we've been creating are they facilitate that play style, like giving you, you know, really good defensive bonuses and you know, attacks that'll last for a long time and kind of slowly whittle people down. Some crowd control effects and you know, stuff like that. But the actual Earth type kinfolk, while they'll learn plenty of those attacks, just like in other monster battling games, they can learn attacks of other types as well. And so, you know, that gives us the ability to say, okay, you could play this character as like a strict Earth type, or you could take attacks that are, you know, maybe more like null type attacks, or maybe some dark type attacks or whatever, that kind of fit into what you'd imagine that character has a little bit more. And we're also shaping like the character's passives and other details about them for that design, rather than for the play style, and keeping the types as a play style mostly in regard to the moves, so as not to limit the possibilities for designs.
And then you're also adjusting things like, you know, health, movement speed, stamina.
Oh, absolutely.
All that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's difficult trying to balance all that.
In a way, there are some things that kind of naturally balance themselves out pretty easily, which is nice. But yeah, bouncing will be fun.
I mean, do you guys have like a play style, like each of you, like that you guys are leaning towards? That's more your style.
Oh, that's a good question.
I think so far, I conceptually I like the idea of mecha, and I think that's gonna be sort of my preferred playstyle too, because I think that's sort of the style of fighting that I've preferred so far in the alpha.
Yeah, I think for me, probably fire type. I don't know. I just like the kind of zoning people out so far, but I think it also is part of like the abilities that we have in the game so far.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit more overrepresentation of fire types, so I end up using fire type attacks more and kind of getting used to those more.
Because
as
we're using fire attacks for all the like for like testing all the base class abilities.
Yeah, because we had a lot of those built out like pre-Kickstarter,
yeah.
So it was pretty easy to just continue building those out more.
So does Dad have a play style that he likes so far?
Yeah. I guess I would have to agree with Robbie. I'm kind of a stand back and watch what's going on, and hopefully not die kind of guy. Which maybe I need a new play style because that doesn't seem to work. Maybe it's a work in progress. I've tried all of them against these two, and yeah, it doesn't. I'm not so good at the Kindred Fates battle arena as of yet, but I'm learning. I mean, to be fair, I haven't played mouse and keyboard in couple days since Kindred Fates, and I started doing that. And Andrew's been trying to get me to learn the mouse and keyboard for different games, and I don't know. I'm just kind of a controller guy, so maybe I'll have better luck when we have support for controllers, or if it comes out on Switch. I don't know, but we'll get there.
You're not the only one that doesn't like controllers. I know Gym Leader Ed loves his controllers, so you're not the only one that likes the controllers.
Yeah. Controller support is unfortunately not.
It's not quite ready yet.
Yeah,
but...
not a pressing issue right now.
Yeah, we've got bigger Kadokis to fry than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it, I believe though that Steam supports like rebinding controls, for pretty much like everything. So, we're not totally sure yet if that's something that's just built in by default, or if we have to enable that. But that might be something that we are able to put out pretty quickly, even if we don't have native support in the game.
Can I plug my Atari 2600 controller into it?
You'll have to ask Gabe.
If you can find a port for it.
I mean, Amazon might have some. So.
I used to have one of those. That was like my heyday of video gaming, was the Atari 2600, and it's amazing that it was just a joystick with one button. I mean, how many games could you play now with just a joystick and one button?
I don't know. Look it up on YouTube, like a Dark Souls run with an Atari controller. I'm sure somebody's done it.
Which I guess is actually even a little bit better than like the original Pong, which was just a little dial.
Yeah.
That was difficult, the dial. I remember actually playing Pong with a dial. Somebody challenged me to do it, and hard part was actually finding the dial. Actually,
such a tiny paddle.
My problem was I couldn't find one as a kid. You know, this was in the early '90s. Like, good luck trying to find one.
I was doing actually a little bit of research, because I figured one of the questions somebody was going to ask me was about my video game experience, and how am I qualified to work for Kindred Fates, and it's an honest question. And I was trying to figure out what the first video game I ever played was, and it was Pong. My uncle had one, and it was made by Coleco in 1978. And it ran off of 2 9-volt batteries, but it actually did hook to your TV. And that was the coolest thing other than Star Wars I had ever seen. But yeah, it was just simply a paddle, and I think there was like a reset switch somewhere or something like that. So yeah, I guess you can say I've been playing video games since 1978.
Andrew, I think for the next stream, we need like a detuned piano playing The Entertainer with like a sepia filter on the screen every time Dad reminisces about the old days.
A little, yeah.
When I was your age.
Film sound effect, or yeah.
A film reel. Put some film gram on there.
Yep.
Damn kids and their video games.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you are.
We have 2 sticks now. Do you know what to do with this stick? You can do both of them.
How many buttons do I have on my keyboard? Oh my gosh.
Not enough.
Back in my day, we had 1 button.
Yeah.
So the next question, everybody's asking for Rob and Andrew. Can you briefly explain a bit about your current budget and why you are going the publisher route? And great question, Andrew.
Yeah.
This is not a me question at all.
That's okay.
Yeah, this is absolutely all Rob.
Happy to answer this one. So building the game at the level of quality that you guys all expect, it's definitely going to take a massive amount of money. And we've talked about this a little bit before. I think we had a post on our Discord announcements.
Yeah, that was during the Kickstarter, so I think it's definitely important to reiterate it.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've talked about it, so definitely worth talking about it again. But yeah, ever since we've had a playable version of the game, we've been speaking with publishers and investors who are able to give the game the rest of the funding that we know that it needs. A lot of people were around the time of the Kickstarter concerned about the like 50K number that we were asking for, and were reasonably skeptical about. Are you really going to be able to build the game that you guys are talking about on 50K? And that's exactly why we've been talking with people for so long about this. And so far, over a dozen investors and publishers have reached out to talk to us. They came to us, which was really cool.
Some very big names too.
Yeah, many of which we would consider to be like household names in the gaming community. And nearly everyone that we spoke to was excited to talk with us about the next steps. And so anyway, with the Kickstarter, we were able to prove that this game has the audience that it needs in order to be successful. And that's what a lot of publishers and investors really want to see before they consider you. And we absolutely proved that. Which is extremely good news for us.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of on us to prove that we have the development chops to create the compelling gameplay that we showed everybody in the Kickstarter, and that it's a fun game. And so after the alpha, we'll be continuing to support the alpha and add new things to it, and obviously fix the bugs that arise and help to balance out the meta so that it's not that there's not anything in there that's like horribly exploitable that makes things really unfun for everybody. We want to get that into a really stable and fun state, and we'll be shifting our focus to working on a short demo of more of the open world stuff that we'll be sharing with publishers and investors, and kind of going from there. No doubt when that is ready, some of the footage from that will make it your way. I'm pretty excited to...
In a trailer, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to eventually get working on that. But all of our focus since the Kickstarter has been on the alpha and building it out. So that you guys have something to play soon.
Yep.
And this is a pretty common way for games to be funded. And in fact, we're not the only game in like even just the indie monster battling genre to be funded this way. But I think the biggest concern with having a publisher or having an investor backing your game is that they'll force you to implement some cash grabby monetization features, or expect you to change the direction or creative vision of your game to suit what they think will be profitable or what they think is a good idea. And that's really not a concern with this game at all. We've been really thankful that we've spoken to like several publishers and investors that would be really good fits for the game, and they're not going to force us to do anything like that. So we have a lot of really good options when it comes to that.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like the paywall
Yeah.
type systems.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's something that's really, really important to us.
Yeah.
We would sooner like fund the game ourselves and just do the whole thing without a publisher than go with a publisher that would force us to make decisions that compromised our vision. But that won't be a concern.
Yeah. Very thankfully, that won't be a concern.
Yeah.
Rob's got this one under control. So the next question is, could you tease a bit about the kinfolk that uses the wheel evolution line, or give us an explanation of some sort about the reason for the evolution lines you have decided to go with?
Sure. As far as like why we picked the lines or like the tree shapes that we did, man, Andrew, do you remember like laying all those possibilities out on the floor?
Oh, yeah. We actually, Yoshi did a few art pieces based on that experience.
Yeah. So we wanted to have a good variety in the options that people would see for like evolving, and that you wouldn't just have the same shaped tree every time. Um, and so I guess the reason that we picked the shapes that we did was uh, most often for variety. Um, and we kind of limited it to a smaller number than what could be possible to save ourselves from having a scope that was unmanageable.
Yeah.
You know, like hypothetically, the sky's the limit for how far a tree could go, but I mean, there's plenty of problems that come from even a tree that's like a size 9 tree, because then you've got, you know, a single starter, and then all these other characters that are sort of in a way like locked behind that one character. Like you have to get this one kinfolk at the beginning if you want to get any of these guys, or there's also like if you just get that one kinfolk, you get all these options. So maybe that means like, oh, maybe people are just going to keep getting this single first evolution over and over again, because they want what's behind it, or maybe you see them a ton, and that's not as fun. Just seeing the same character over and over, or just catching that same character over and over, as opposed to having like more variety outside of that. So we try to kind of balance the two ends, like give people a lot of fun options when evolving, without getting getting a tree so big that it becomes problematic, or it can maybe makes things less fun. As far as the size, the wheel, that's like the largest that we thought we could go, and probably should only do that once.
Yeah, probably only will be one tree of that 8 wheel,
because it like I just said, it can lock a bunch of characters behind that, or make it so that if that was really common, then you'd probably see that first evolution fairly commonly, in order to make getting the characters behind it more accessible. Yeah.
Nothing else to add, guys?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah.
So next question: as kinfolk will have different personalities, if we can let's see, if we can name the bonded ones, will we lose points if they dislike the name given?
Well, that would probably require them to be able to recognize the name that you gave them, and
which would be hard.
That would be hard.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I think Fallout 4 had a system where you could pick your character's name, and your like robot butler would actually speak it.
There was a comparatively very small list of recorded voice lines.
Yeah.
And it was only the butler that could do that.
Just like one character.
Yeah.
And I think he would say your name, and it was like 400 or 300 something names.
For a turret in chat says 300 pre-chosen names.
Yeah. And that would take a lot for us to be able to like, you know, log a whole list of names, and then be like, okay, this personality likes these names and it doesn't like these names, and have that make any kind of sense.
So no.
Probably not no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
We'd have to create such a large index for names.
Yeah. And then sort it.
And then assign likes and dislikes to different to 159 different kinfolk.
Which we could do randomly, and like, sure, I guess they would have a sort of random opinion about the name Jeffrey, but like, you know, who knows if that makes any sense or not.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot easier to just be like, you know, we don't understand your human customs of naming.
Yeah.
You can call me whatever you want.
So the next question is for Andrew.
Oh.
What in QA feels best to you right now?
What in QA feels best right now? Let's see. I feel like this isn't the answer that people would expect, but I absolutely love the work that Joey did with the team manager. Like,
Yeah.
that's feels really good, looks really nice. To have like your 4 kinfolk lined up, and then like being able to swap them out and like swap their moves out. It's a bit like the move list right now, because for testing purposes we have all kinfolk being able to access all moves. So it's like a bit cluttered, but I mean, once the alpha comes out, they'll just be able to access the moves that they should be able to learn, and it's really, I don't know, it's really nice. It just feels really good.
Solid too. Like, we don't really
yeah.
have any bugs with it.
Yeah.
I think we had like 1 or 2 when it first came out.
It was more of the menu than that particular, like just the main menu as a whole. Which, by
Yeah.
the way, the what would you call it? The login screen, or like the main menu.
Yeah, main menu.
That also looks really good.
Yeah, especially here recently with the
Yeah.
improvements.
Yeah, recently it's like you've got your name and your title at the top right. You got your code. I think there's
We got music now.
yeah, there's the music. In the top right, you've got what I'm assuming is a customizable profile picture, but right now it's just like default Beardo placeholder.
Beardo.
Yeah. And then we've got
But it's looking really good though.
yeah. And there's like every time you load into the game, there's a random kinfolk that's sort of like standing there in the center of the screen doing like an idle animation, and I don't know, it just looks really good.
Any possible chance to leak it?
We've got other leaks for you.
Yeah, we've got, let's see, that ties into the next question, I guess.
Yeah, the next question is asking, is any chance to drop a leak for us?
Absolutely not.
I mean, Dad might be able to barbecue some leaks.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
can barbecue a leak.
if you look at the stream right now, absolutely
that is a
no
leak.
leaks.
The hell is a leak?
Well, that's a leak right there, I think.
Yeah,
Made
that's
out of meat?
right there.
It's a vegetable.
Yeah.
No.
Sort.
It's a plant, you know.
Yeah.
Giant
can-
onion.
I think you can grill it. It's kind of like an onion, but a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's like a thicker. It's almost like what Farfetch has.
Yeah, I think he does have a leak actually.
So, Rob, would you like to explain anything about this photo?
Here's what I'll give you about this photo. This is a screenshot from an animation preview sent by one of our animators, Cookie. But this is just a screenshot. This is like the first frame of an animation that he sent us. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
So it is confirmed Farfetch does have a leak.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. So there's that.
Anything else with that picture?
That's about all we got for
I
now.
mean-
You'll see a lot more of that plant soon, I think.
Really?
Well, you know, like relatively.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Where's the plant?
it's if you look at the stream.
Oh, that's a plant. Okay.
Yeah. It's a little plant. Yeah, soon TM.
Soon TM.
Yeah. It's the plant that created the fog.
Nice one, Dougie.
Whatever the plant is, it's got good colors. Thank you.
Aw.
I just could imagine it's like piranha plant just all of a sudden just like it opens up and attacks.
I mean, I don't know.
gonna have speculation abound now. People will be like, "Here's 32 ways I can prove that this is the legendary kinfolk."
Yeah. uh,
Here's the wide sweeping implications that this has for not
Yeah.
only the competitive community but for the story as a whole.
this is what Kadoki evolves into. It's just a stationary little bud.
100%.
Yeah.
That's a baby version.
Oh no, we got Umberto in chat. Oh no.
It's the Kadoki mother.
Yeah. 300 tips on how to play Kadoki's evolution.
Yeah.
30 confirmed facts from the KF stream. Oh boy. Excuse me, I am the Kadoki.
oh.
Oh no, we've actually got the real Slim Shady in chat.
This is true.
When you order a kinfolk plushie, they send you a cabbage. Oh, can we should we give an update on the
I can give an update on that. Yeah.
Yay.
More. This isn't really a leak. This is more just like a
update?
Yeah. So production is finished on the plushies.
Woo.
They're finished. They're finished manufacturing them. They're all good to go.
Oh.
We got a picture.
Can I
Huh?
show that picture?
Do you have it?
I do, yes. Well, I can just take it from the
Picture.
dev
I
thing.
want to see. I want to see.
Yeah, we can.
Let me go ahead
If you've got it, you can send it.
Yeah, I'll just download it really quick.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be good to show off.
Yeah, for those of you who were here when yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, when SM Wicket said assembling an army, this is what he was talking about. Let me just property.
Yeah, this is all. This update is courtesy of SM Wicket.
Yeah.
He's been championing the plushie side of things.
Let's go ahead and I don't know,
Blow
throw
that
it
up a little higher.
Yeah, throw it on top of current Auburn.
Yeah.
Cool. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
So this is just like one small batch of the amount that we have.
Yes,
Yeah.
but they are all finished.
Yeah.
So we'll be shipping those out very soon to you. We are still very, very much. I'm told we're still very much on target for shipping them out before the end of October. So
Cool.
look forward to that.
Nice.
Yep. They,
Let me go push the kid out of the other room so she doesn't
Yeah.
see.
Oh,
We
Any
are.
Any chance you're going to be like giving out some special edition autographed little plushie guys?
It's always a possibility.
Are they
Um,
are they even gonna pass through us, or are they just gonna go directly?
It kind of depends. So where we're at with them right now is we need the. We're waiting on an email from the manufacturer that will tell us the exact dimensions and weight of the plushies. And as soon as we have that, we can go to our shipping partner and say, here is the information that you ask us for, and they will tell us the exact price of the bulk order of shipping them, and we'll say, here you go, and then they will say, plushies please, and we say, here you go, here's 3,000 plushies, ship them out to the good people of the world.
Yeah. So always important when we mention plushies. Please, if you have a plushie, if you know somebody that has a plushie,
If you're a plushie.
if you are a plushie, please log into your account on SkyMill. What is it? SkyMillStudios.com? SkyMill.com? Our
We don't
website.
even know our own website.
I don't know the exact domain name. If you log in to our website and go to your account, please make sure that your address in there is up to date and correct. You can change it at any time, but if you didn't enter it into the survey, or if you did enter it into the survey, just make sure that it's also in your account, because the surveys are a bit not super reliable. So
Thank you,
sometimes.
Crank. Crank just posted
Yep.
the skymillstudios.com.
yes, user account.
there.
Yes, please.
Yeah, the sooner you get your address in the account, the sooner we will get you your plushie.
Yes. I don't want to think about all the emails I will have to send out here soon, probably.
Yeah.
Asking for.
Well, we'll have MailChimp do it.
Well, sure.
We
but,
won't.
I
We
mean,
won't do it like.
I mean, there's going to be some manual stuff in there somewhere. Yeah.
But I think that's all we have for today. Got you an update on the plushies.
Yep.
Maybe a little leak.
Yep.
And some fun anecdotes from SM Dad. Are you not entertained?
SM older than dirt.
Andrew, go to your room. Never mind, you're already in your room.
I'm already in. Yeah. So let me go ahead and put in some lovely outro music. Because we have that now.
Getting fancy here.
Yeah.
Trying to slowly improve.
I want to say thank you to Barry for putting up with not only me, but my two sons. It's been a pleasure yakking with you and telling stories. I also would like to thank Crank and his wonderful wife for putting on the first ever talks that was so cool at that time when this thing first blew up. And for everybody that's hosted, and for everybody that's most important hosted, to all the people out here that made this dream a reality for my two sons, you guys are absolutely wonderful, and we obviously couldn't have done it without all the support that you guys have given us. Again, thank you to everybody. This Discord, you guys are the best. I've been here since not day one, but pretty close to it, and just all the love and all the support that you guys, like right now, all the purple hearts going up. I mean, you know, you guys are really, really cool, and it shows us in this time of kind of nastiness in the world, and that, you know, there's definitely good people out there, and we can at least come together over something and everybody sit down and smile and have a good time and talk about something that we're all interested in. So
yeah,
thanks to everybody out there that's helped support us, and I only hope that we can do half a goodish job of making you guys as happy as you've made us.
Well, I can't do a better outro than that. So on that note, thank you all for showing up, I suppose.
I didn't hear any.
What?
I was gonna say, Dad smashed that one.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Uh-oh.
And then when I was your age.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Okay, cut it.
Oh, that's all we have to